What's good, YouTube? Jay Lee here. I got some things to talk about, particularly about single mothers. But first, I want to share this list, which I read today on I believe it was a Richard Cooper video. Can't remember exactly which one it was, but this is just in the comments. Someone wrote this. Oh yeah, that's right. It was a young man who was a Christian who called in, and he had been watching some MGTOW content, and he felt like, he wanted to go MGTOW, and I forget exactly what his questions were, but it's a pretty good video. You can go watch it on Richard Cooper Clips on his YouTube channel. But in the comments, this was put out there, and I thought it was great, so I copied it, and I shared it on social media, and I got some responses, and I'm going to talk about those responses in a second. But first, I'm just going to read this list and sort of talk a little bit about it, and then we'll get into those responses. Particularly, I'm going to talk about a response that somebody had a problem with the single mom issue, so I'm going to talk about that. But first, let me read this list. 1, ignore her words, focus on her actions. Sage piece of advice right there. Great piece of advice. This is red pill advice. 2, don't chase women, become the man that women will pursue. Another great piece of advice. Now, I think in that case we'd have to define chase, because in a sense men are expected socially to approach the woman and be vocal about his intent to date her, or to have to have a relationship or fling or whatever. Men are expected to do that. So really, when we say chase women, I think what he means, and what I would say, is that you shouldn't chase her in the sense that you're validating her. But men have to pony up, man up, and initiate conversation, because that's just the way it is. So don't chase women, I take to mean don't fawn over her or chase after her. Become the man that women will pursue. That's just not viable unless you're a 10 out of 10. Women don't approach men. So that really, if you have that mind state, you are really kind of tricking yourself. You're kind of wasting your own time. You're kind of playing mental masturbation, because women will not approach even the hottest of men a lot of times. I'm not saying women won't approach hot men. They will. It's just not that common. Pretty rare, actually. So I take number 2 to mean just don't constantly validate her. Don't simp for her. Don't be really needy in your approach and in your gaming her, in the process of gaming her. Don't chase her to where she's like, what do I need this guy for? He's too available, he's too needy, and then she'll just friend zone you. So that's a good piece of advice if you look at it from that sense. But if you're looking at it from like, I'm never going to approach women, then you're just fooling yourself, because you have to approach women in order to get anything from women. Okay, number 3 is women you previously pursued and got rejected by will later be interested when they see you have a different opinion. So yeah, he's probably talking about, because he says women you previously pursued. So in number 2, he's probably really talking about don't chase women, don't be so available, right? So women you previously pursued and got rejected by will later be interested when they see you have a different woman. That's decent advice. That can happen. That's pretty true. Is it probable in a lot of cases? Probably not, because how often does a woman you pursue actually see you out on the town, or there's a lot of people in the world, right? So that's probably not the most practical advice, but decent advice nonetheless. Number 4, women think about marriage as a wedding day and not a lifetime supporting and respecting their man. Very true. I would say the only women who do that are traditional conservative women. Get yourself a TradCon woman. Stay far away from these Democrat women. Stay far away from any woman who's a liberal. Stay far away from any woman who's a feminist. That is poison. Run. Do not walk. Run away from those type of women. Yes, it's true. Most women view marriage as this wonderful wedding day, and it's all perfect. And this is why you see these women posting these great pictures where they hired a professional photographer. They went out into the mountains. They wore their best clothes, and they make it look like it's so perfect, because they're trying to create this narrative that their life is so beautiful, and that's part of their ego. That's just ego, man. That's not how life really is. That's not how these people really are from day to day. How they really are is they don't wear makeup, they feel shitty, they look shitty, they act shitty, and that's that's what type of humans these people really are. The people who like put on a nice front and take these nice pictures, probably the worst type of people you'll actually meet in real life, or they just don't give a shit. They're just completely solipsistic and selfish. Forget about that. That's not real. So yeah, women think about marriage as a wedding day and not a lifetime supporting and respecting their man. Very true. It's all about her. It's all about her and her narrative in that scenario, in marriage and the wedding day. Very good advice. Number 5, embrace rejection. It will make you stronger. Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. Embrace rejection. It will make you stronger. Very good advice. Not much to say about that. It just is what it is. 6, disdain women who rejected you. Ignoring them is the best revenge. I don't know if he used that word disdain properly. I wouldn't disdain any women who rejected you. I just don't think about them at all. Just forget about them. Like, they don't matter. I've been rejected by countless women in my life, hundreds, if not thousands, that I've approached or messaged on dating apps, and they just ignored me, or they talked to me for a while and ghosted me, and they just rejected me because they didn't like my game or what have you. I don't disdain those women. I just don't think about them. Just forget about it. It's not even that you need to get revenge for being rejected. They don't matter. There's no point in, taking up space in your head about somebody who rejected you. It's really an exercise in futility and a waste of time. Number 7, the more attractive she is, the harder you have to be. Don't simp. I would just say, yeah, definitely don't simp for sure. But you don't have to be the most stoic, hard person. Just learn game. Learn how to not validate her. Learn how to play hard to get. Pretty simple. 8, stay away from single mothers. Oh yeah, stay away from single mothers, and that's what I'm going to talk about in a second here. But yes, very true. 9, prioritize your appearance no matter what. Yeah, that's true. Make yourself look good. Go to the gym, wear nice clothes, be the best version of yourself, man. How are you going to have self-respect and self-esteem if you got a shitty diet, you never exercise? Hold yourself to a higher standards in that regard. It really does matter. People treat you different. You're happier. Your life is different, more quality. Exercise, work out, eat quality food, drink quality water, man. One of the best things you can do for yourself in your life. Number 10, never fully commit. Yeah, kind of true. It is what it is. The more you commit, the more you're all in, the more she's going to feel like, can I do better? Can I find someone better? I know this guy's committed to me, but, and if you don't commit, she'll be chasing you forever. Go watch Patrice O'Neal's when he talks about that. Don't ever commit to a woman. If you don't ever commit to a woman, she'll chase you forever. In most cases. But now, actually, I should, put a parentheses there and say that, yeah, women do have an agenda, and if you don't commit, eventually they're gonna drop you. But if you're still the highest value guy that she can get and you don't commit, she probably will never leave you. And that number 10 actually goes into, I think, he didn't say don't get married. Did he say don't get married on this list? He didn't say don't get married on this list. That's surprising. I thought he said don't get married on this list, but he didn't. But I would say number 10, never fully commit, really comes into the point where you should say don't ever get married. Really don't ever get married. By never fully committing, meaning you don't ever get married, because once you get married, she knows she's got you, right? So number 10 is really, it should say never fully commit, and in parentheses it should say don't ever get married, because she knows she's got you by the balls in that case. She has the power. Once you sign that, once you do that wedding day, and you sign those wedding papers, she knows she's got you by the balls. Women know this. Trust me, women are a lot smarter than we think they are. They're just very subtle. I say this in so many of my videos. Women are very subtle, which, they pretend to be like they're ignorant, or they don't know, or they're just, really these entities, these nice, beautiful, fairer sex, quote unquote, entities. They know exactly. They know that marriage is a commitment. They know that marriage is a safeguard from the state. They know that. Okay, this is why they want to get married. It's part of it. By never fully committing, by following number 10, you have to in parentheses put don't ever get married. Not good for a man. It's bad for a man. Okay, number 11. Don't share your weaknesses with a woman. Seek professional help in a serious rut. 100%. Don't ever open yourself up to a woman. It's not that you... I don't know. I'm torn on this because some people say it's okay to be vulnerable with a woman. I just think that this pretty much clears it up. That this isn't such a great list. It's very simple. Don't share your weaknesses. Because when you do that, she will put you in a beta category. I don't care if you guys have been dating for 5 years, living together for 5 years. When you start to open up about your fears and your problems, she's going to think you are a weak little bitch. It's just what it is. You know, as men, we think, oh, I really want to open myself up to her and just make, you know, because there's something in us that like needs mommy still. There's something that we can get weak and beta. We can, and I need a mom. I need I need someone to love me and counsel me. Nah, man. They will beta-ize you 100% of the time, meaning that they will lose their attraction for you. They might pretend like, oh yeah, honey, you can open up to me and woo woo woo, but at the end of the day, when you do that, she is that's really a shit test, honestly. Get a counselor. Very good advice here. Get a counselor. Seek professional help in a serious rut. Don't show weakness like that to a woman. Yeah, men are weak, but women don't take weakness. And here's the thing, and I talk about this in a lot of my videos. I say, why would I wouldn't want to be in that type of relationship, and that might sound contradicting to what I'm saying right now. But here's the thing, I don't want to be in a relationship at all. And if I was ever in a relationship, I would feel like I should be able to open myself up. But here's the reality of the scenario: you can't open yourself up. You can't show weakness like this. So this is good advice. But when I talk about it, you know, in my other videos, where I'm coming from is I don't want to be in a relationship, period, because of that. Because I can't open myself up. Because I have to be this stoic guy. And it's true, you do, in order to keep her interested in like 99% of the cases. Now, there are some women out there who are just really cool and understanding, and they get it, but not most of them. And most of them who are down to earth, cool, open-minded, understanding, and they will kind of love you and care for you when you're vulnerable and weak. Those type of women, they're usually not that attractive. They're usually less attractive, because the less attractive a woman is, the more real she is, the more she's just kind of genuine, because she has to be. Because very attractive women are just prima donnas. They're phony by nature, because that's just comes with the territory. So yeah, I wouldn't open up. I wouldn't show weakness. So that's good advice in general. Number 12, women cheat more than men. Don't let her accusations blind you. Very true. Very good advice. Keep that in mind, man. Women cheat more than men, and I don't care what anybody says. You know, there's so much narrative and demonization of toxic masculinity and male nature that people don't even believe it. Oh no, women don't cheat more than men. Men are dogs. Men are so sexual. Women aren't like that. You have no idea what you're talking about. No idea. Women are very, very sexual. They're just really, really good at hiding it. They're really, really good at keeping the secrets. Okay, women cheat more than men. It's true. Why? It stands to reason. It's common sense. They have more access to it. Don't think that just because you want to fuck everything in sight that women don't. It's just women don't act on it because they have a reputation socially to uphold. But we live in the age of Tinder. We live in the age of hookup sites. Ashley Madison. You guys should go study what happened with AshleyMadison.com. Okay? AshleyMadison.com got exposed, and there was tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people looking to cheat on their spouses. It's very common. It's just women are very good at it. That's the truth. All right, number 13, be low tolerance. Be ready to walk away at any given moment. That's good advice. Yeah, man. You know, stand up for yourself, have standards, have self-esteem. That will keep her on her toes. This is good advice. It really is. Now, again, at the end of the day, I would say it's not worth the risk. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. Don't get into a relationship. Don't do it at all. But if you must, this is a good list. If you choose to do it, this is a good list, man. 14, don't be bitter. Accept female nature and adjust. Generally true. I personally don't accept female nature. I talk a lot of shit about it. I want to chastise it. That's part of who I am and my shtick. But that's good advice. It's not good to be bitter because it hurts you a lot. You know, so I think someone once said, revenge or not revenge, maybe bitterness. Someone once said bitterness doesn't hurt the person who did the wrong. It hurts the person, it hurts the victim. So when you hold and harbor bitterness in your heart towards someone who hurts you, you get hurt more than they do. And you know what? I get it. I've been there many years, many days, many times, and I get it. If you're going through red pill rage, you're going through bitterness, I get it, man. Accept female nature and adjust. Yeah, it is what it is. You at some point, you're just going to have to be like, yeah, man, that's the way women are. And the more you get proved, the more experiences you have, because, you know, a lot of times we're blue pilled and we have this blue pill narrative and we think, no, it's not like that. There's someone out there. Not all women are like that. But until you get like, man, you know what? This is the 100th girl who's been exactly like that. I'm starting to see a pattern. That's just the way women are. So it's like, at some point, you do come to that realization where you just sort of accept female nature and adjust. And how you adjust is on you. You know, how you adjust, if you accept it and play the stoic game and learn how to keep her on a leash and keep her on her P's and Q's, that's up to you. But some guys just walk away. And I'm one of those guys, like, if I have to play that game, I don't want to play that game. I'm just going to not be a part of it. So I'm going to go my own way. I'm going to take my ball and go play in my own court in my own way. It doesn't mean I'm totally giving up on women. I still like sex. I still got a dick, man. It is what it is, but it's not worth it. It's not worth the squeeze. No one's teaching. I'm going to get into this in a second, but no one's teaching women how to treat men. You know, no one's teaching women how to treat men. Number 15, keep playing the game and make it difficult. People come back to difficult games to try and beat it. Easy games get played once and put on the shelf. That's actually really true. That's very true advice. If you're too easy, she's going to get bored. But, you know, do what's best for you. You know, don't be too gamey if you don't want to be too gamey. Some guys get real wrapped up in being all gamey and being this, like, weirdo, like, super gamed out guy. And it's like, you know, do you. But that's in general. That's true. If you're too easy, then is what it is. All right, so that's a great list. I just wanted to share that with you. But now I'm going to talk about single moms. So within this, when I shared this list and somebody responded and they had a problem with stay away from single mothers, which is number 9. And this person said, just why? Well, you know, why is this? Why would you stay away from single mothers? And so what I did was I responded and I shared this. I shared this list here. Why real men avoid single mothers. This is a great meme. That 1, they're never available. 2, you are not a priority. 3, she thinks the world revolves around her and her only. I mean, I'd say all women are like that. 4, she's emotionally unavailable. Pretty true. Her emotions are going into raising her kid. And then number 1 is she's never available is because she doesn't have no damn time because she's always raising her kid. Her kid is her number 1 priority, which is 2, you are not a priority. Makes perfect sense. She's not putting you on a priority. Her kid is above you 100% of the time. That's the problem with the single mom. Her kid is above you 100%. She could take you or leave you. If you don't add to her life, she doesn't need you and she could X you out, but her kid will never go. Her kid is 100% a priority over you, right? Do you want to get into a relationship with somebody who loves her kid more than you? You know? Number 5, the ex-baby daddy is always there. I've experienced that. I dated a single mom for 3 years. She was still having sex with her baby dad. He lived in a different state, which was close to the state that we lived in, and she drove like 75 miles every 2 weeks to meet him, and I found out they were still having sex when she went to go do that. And not only that, the guy was an asshole. He's a jerk, and his personality, his asshole character rubbed off onto her, and she started treating me like an asshole because that's just, because, you know, it's like they say, you are how you act and who you are is the sum total of the top 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So she spent a lot of time with this ex guy she was with, and in truth, she was actually engaged to him. And I found out later on after we broke up, she was engaged to him when she met me, and she dumped him for me. So she monkey branched off of him onto me. And eventually she did that with somebody else with me. She monkey branched off of me onto somebody else who she thought was better than me. So she thought I was better than him, but they had a kid together. And then she was engaged to him, and she didn't even tell me she was engaged to him. And then she left him for me, and then she found somebody else and monkey branched away from me, and so she did the same thing, which is another piece of advice. If she cheats on you, or if she cheats on her boyfriend or husband or whatever with you, and you guys start dating, rest assured she's probably likely going to cheat on you with somebody else, because once a cheater, always a cheater. That's just their character. Eventually they will cheat if the opportunity arises, right? So the ex-baby daddy is always there. Keep that in mind. That's very true. This is a single mom issue, is that she's always got to deal with the single dad for the next 18 years. And if you're going to date her, you're going to be a part of her and her kid's life, then you are going to be a part of the single dad's life, and you're going to have to interact with the single dad, and he's probably not going to like you, and he's probably going to be an asshole. And there's a lot of social conditioning and normalization culture, quote unquote, to make single parents like acceptable, and everybody should be copacetic and all this bullshit. But in reality, it's just phony. It's just on the surface. Why would you like the baby dad, and why would the baby dad like you? It's probably just, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does. I mean, sure, they like each other, amiable. It can happen, but a lot of times it doesn't work out like that. People don't have extra energy and time to, I really want to make a real good relationship with the stepdad. Woo, woo, woo. Like, nah, that's weird. It's weird, man. Why would you want to put yourself through that when you could just choose a single woman? Why would you want to do that to yourself? 6, the kids are working against you. Yeah, the kids will hate you. Yeah, probably. The kid doesn't like you. He wants his dad. He favors his dad, or she favors the dad. She doesn't like you. Or maybe she does like you more than the dad, and that can be a problem in its own way, right? It's just weird. That's not your kid. And I've said it a million times that one of the most emasculating things for a man is to raise another man's seed. It's emasculating. It's not. There's nothing alpha or manly about that. It's weird. 8, she has an entitled attitude. Yeah, because there's so much single mom propaganda out there. I'm a single mom. I deserve the best. I deserve somebody to help take care of my kids. It's like, what? What do you mean you deserve? Like, you made a big mistake, and you don't deserve shit. And what you deserve, you better take what you can get, and you better treat that man like he's a bar of gold, because he's raising somebody else's kid. But they don't. They're entitled, because women are entitled, particularly single moms, for some reason. I think that's true. 9, distorted self-image. Yeah, when you have a kid with somebody you don't love, and you haven't married, it's like, you're gonna have a distorted self-image, because nobody respects single moms, or they shouldn't, but people are trying to normalize it. But anyway, she's always the victim. Yeah. 11, Jekyll and Hyde personality. Yeah. 9, drama queen. Yeah, those are all kind of the same thing. It's all part and parcel. She's messed up. That's how she probably got to be a single mom in the first place. 13, in most cases, she's dating to make her baby daddy jealous. Probably true. I wouldn't say in most cases, but I'd say in most cases she's just looking for somebody to help raise the kid, and somebody to be a financial donor. But I don't know if she's trying to make the baby daddy jealous, but I wouldn't say in most cases, but that can be true. Number 14, dishonest. A single mom is a liar. Sometimes. But I wouldn't say that's every time, but kind of true sometimes. 15, carries baggage, and more baggage. Yep. If she's a single mom, means she was riding the cock carousel, and she messed up. She made a mistake, and it is what it is. So this guy says the amount of assumptions in here is just shocking. There are some assumptions. There's some. I wouldn't say all these are assumptions. A lot of it is sage advice. There are some assumptions, though. I'll give him that. There's a few. I say these points have been learned the hard way. Not all single mothers do every item on the list, but these items are the truth. So he says, so it's not true, but is it? That's contradictory. All I'm saying here is a post encouraging people to show no interest in some of the most vulnerable people in our society who need the most love. A completely selfish attitude with a lack of compassion. It's not for me. Listen, man, these women had no compassion for us. These women had no compassion for us our whole lives, and then they went and messed up, and now all of a sudden we're supposed to have compassion on them. Bullshit. So I say the list is legitimate. It's warnings for a reason. These are warnings, man. Don't get into a relationship with a single mom. Leave it alone. Now, idealistically, in an egalitarian way, I would say the kid needs a father, but we know what he needs. He needs his own father. That's what he really needs. He doesn't need a surrogate daddy. He doesn't need some step-in stepdad who fulfills the roles of a biological father. That's bullshit. That's just, people trying to not put any accountability on women. You get no checks and balances. You got no negative consequences to your actions. Yet men, we carry the burden of all their responsibility. That just doesn't make sense when we're talking about equality. That just doesn't make sense if we're talking about feminism, where they really care about men. That just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would you put a man through that? You know, why would you want to bring a man into your bullshit of a life? You know, that's just selfish. It's messed up. So I say she is vulnerable because of her own bad decisions. Now she needs a man to come and clean up her baggage. Ha, that's funny. But she would never do the same for you if you were vulnerable and say, for instance, you were broke and lived at home still. She would laugh at you. But these same women claim they're about equality and feminism, blah, 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 but they only care about themselves. I'd advise you not to be a simp, but there's a sucker born every day. And that's 100% true. If the tables were flipped, she wouldn't give a crap about you. And not a lot of single women are clamoring to date single fathers, to date men with kids. Not a lot of single women are clamoring for that because they believe they deserve the best. And that's not the best. If we're being real and we're being honest, a single mother or a single father in the dating game is not the best case scenario. Why would you do that? It just does not make sense. It's not advantageous for a single person to get with a person who has a kid. It doesn't make any sense. It's baggage, and really it just shows you are in scarcity mode. You are taking what you can get, really. If you're going to do it, if you have a kid, and you're a single daddy, look for a single mommy who has a kid. If you're a single mommy and you need to date and you want to find love, then look for a single daddy and do it that way. Don't try to bring somebody who's just a rando guy into the relationship. If you have kids, then he should have kids. If she has kids, then you should have kids. That's really the only scenario where I would even say it's decent. Otherwise, let them rot, because guess what? They'll let you rot if you don't have any resources. If you don't have any money, they will laugh at you and they will let you rot. They will let you hang out to dry until you actually start winning, because this is what women do. They sit around at the finish line and pick the winners. She will not entertain a relationship with you if you are a broke guy. So why should you entertain a relationship with her when she's got a bunch of baggage? It's not fair and it's not right. And when you say, oh, well, they're vulnerable. Yeah, because of their own decisions. They made their bed and now they got to lie in it. And I'm not going to be the Captain Save-A-Ho who comes and digs her out of the grave and I saved her. And it's like, why? Why would you put yourself through that? When she wouldn't give a shit about you if you didn't have money. And that's female nature. That's a fact. So I'm going to leave it there. It is what it is. Man, don't date single moms. It's a good list. If you guys can go find these memes online, I don't know. This is a great meme. Why real men avoid single moms. I found it somewhere and it's part of my collection. And then this also is a really good list here. You can find this list on Richard Cooper's new video on Richard Cooper Clips, where he's talking to a Christian who's talking about MGTOW. A Christian guy who's talking about MGTOW. This is in the comments section. I edited the picture and cut off the person who made the comment, so I don't know who did it, but you can go find, I don't know the name of the YouTube user who made this list, but you can go find it on that video. It's one of Richard Cooper's newest videos, if not the newest video out today. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate you listening. It's been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.